All right. Hey, good afternoon, guys. Hey, thanks for joining me today. My name is Tom Kelly. We are going to spend a little bit of time together talking about the BeeSafe Organic Lawn Care opportunity. I know you're busy. I certainly know that things are still rolling for you this time of year, and I'm absolutely appreciative that you can spend a couple minutes with me today. Today's webinar is going to last hopefully about 20 minutes. We'll try not to go any further than that. But occasionally I can get a little bit long-winded, and if I do, I'll try to tone it down, and we'll get refocused again. So, again, thanks for joining me today. We're going to talk about the BeeSafe Lawn Care opportunity. Again, my name is Tom Kelly. I am the founder of the company. Today we'll break the webinar up into two parts. The first part will be a little bit about who BeeSafe is and what the BeeSafe network is all about. Second part will focus on you and how you joining the BeeSafe network, how that can be beneficial to you, how you can get more customers, how you can increase your gross sales and your profitability, and again, how bringing on an organic lawn care program can help the image of your company, not only just financially, but as a whole as well. So let's go ahead and get rolling today. Who is BeeSafe Lawns? BeeSafe Lawns is essentially what's legally known as a dealer network. We sometimes refer to the applicators as dealers, which feels a little funny because we're not asking you to sell product, we're asking you to use our product and our brand. And we usually like to start here with Entrepreneur Magazine. Last year, BeeSafe Lawns was named one of Entrepreneur Magazine's Disruptors and featured in their magazine as a company that is making really, really significant strides in an industry that is typically sort of not changing very quickly. And if we're being honest, for all of you guys who've been in the industry for a long time, you know that we aren't always the most progressive people in the lawn and landscape industry. We're still a little bit behind the times, but we're catching up. So Entrepreneur Magazine every year picks about a half a dozen companies who are making a real difference in their industry and sort of disrupting things and doing things a little bit differently and being successful at it. So that's what BeeSafe is all about. We're working within an industry that we're all accustomed to being in, but we're doing it differently, and we're moving forward successfully. So we operate under the parent company Natural Technologies. We've got a couple other brands, including the Organic Lawn Care Institute, which we'll talk about towards the end of today's webinar. I also like to start with a couple of customers that we work directly with. So as I'm trying to build a little bit of credibility with you with the Entrepreneur Magazine thing, I also want you to know that we've made significant strides in working with some pretty high-profile customers too. So Harvard University, I start right out of the gate with Harvard. Harvard started the type of lawn care that we're practicing. They essentially invented it about 8 or 10 years ago when they decided to convert the entire campus to completely organic. So when we talk about organic lawn care, we're not talking about, you know, granular corn gluten and soy fertilizer or natural fertilizers or you know, chicken manure or biosolids. We're not talking about that type of lawn care. We're talking about creating organic lawns using tools to improve soil biology. So Harvard, a bunch of years ago, decided to convert the campus to organic, and they created a closed-loop system in which they composted everything. And from that compost, they created compost teas that matched up specifically with the soil. They did bioassays on the soil all around campus, determined what the needs were for that soil, and then brewed compost tea from their compost to match up exactly with what that bioassay was telling them the soil required for the turf to reach its genetic potential. So if you Google Harvard University landscaping, organic landscaping project, you can learn much more about it. But inevitably, a couple years down the road, they came to us and asked if they could purchase some of our products, and they currently use our 702 organically, biologically enhanced organic fertilizer. And it's cool because we get to go hang out there a couple times a year and see what's going on. So the grass at Harvard looks really good, and they use BeeSafe products. Universal Studios down in Orlando, if you're going to go on vacation at all this winter and you're going to go down to Orlando, Florida, and you happen to find yourself in the theme park at Universal Studios, check out all the turf. It's a complete BeeSafe program. The manager there came to us a few years ago and wanted to go organic. We built the program specifically for them, and they've been on board ever since. Two totally different environments. Harvard in the north in Massachusetts with cool season turf and, you know, cold winters, and Orlando, Universal Studios, where they have a combination of St. Augustine grass and Bermuda grass and very different soils, very different climate and temperature, both very successful sites. Hadlock Field up in Portland, Maine, the only professional baseball stadium to be completely organic, the AA affiliate for the Boston Red Sox. We've been working with them for a couple of years very successfully. City of Scarborough, Maine, and if any of you are in an area where legislation regarding pesticides or chemical fertilizers is something that's becoming more topical, pay attention to this. Scarborough, Maine, a few years ago, passed an ordinance making it illegal to use pesticides on town or municipally maintained turf. A group called the Citizens for a Greener Scarborough were able to pass that ordinance, and our applicator up there came to us, and this is the reason they came to us and wanted to get trained on how to do an organic lawn care program. As a result, they have a $90,000 account that renews every year, and they're very, very well known in the area and have a very good residential customer base as well. So if you're in an area where there is any sort of chatter about legislation regarding pesticides or chemical fertilizers, it's time for you to look into this. Who wouldn't want a $90,000 account and some great notoriety as a local expert? So right now, we currently have, this slide is a little bit outdated. We're up to 105 BeeSafe locations across the United States of America. This summer, we sat down and we identified 225 additional locations that we wanted to place an applicator, locations where we know the organic lawn care movement is going to do well. So we identified those areas, and we plan to put applicators in each one of those areas in the next 18 months. So the fact here is that the BeeSafe brand is growing exponentially, very quickly. And within a couple years, the BeeSafe brand will be in all 50 states, competing with some of the bigger companies, True Green, Scott, Spring Green, Weedman, Lawn Doctor, some of the larger regional lawn care services, and that's a good thing, and we want you to join us. So with 325 locations nationwide, hopefully BeeSafe will become one of the most recognized names in lawn care. The way we do it, you guys, is instead of having privately owned lawn care branches or attempting to work with those very large nationally known companies, we work with small to mid-sized lawn and landscape companies that are independent. Companies like most of you who are on the line today, locally owned, independent, sort of easily adaptable and progressive forward-thinking lawn and landscape services. We're not a franchise. We kind of have the look and feel of a franchise in that you get to use the brand, and we kind of operate as a cooperative. But we like to work with independent lawn and landscape companies that can help us grow the business while growing their own business. So that's how we roll. The demographic that our applicators are after are not only the high-end premium organic lawn care accounts. We like to think that BeeSafe applicators are lawn services that offer an organic lawn care program. BeeSafe applicators are not organic lawn care services. And if that makes any sense to you right off the top, that's good. You have to be able to offer your services to the masses, not just that premium Whole Foods crowd. You want to be able to offer your services to that old guy who's cutting his grass with his scissors, all the way down to the millennials who are becoming, going to school now and will graduate and buy homes in the coming years. You want to be able to offer all of your services to all the people. Don't pigeonhole yourself directly into a niche. So part two, let's talk about what this means to you. While it's great to offer an organic lawn care program and help save the world and become a true environmentalist, this is still all about running a good business. So about a month or so ago, we wrote a really awesome case study called "It's All About the Money, Stupid." And what that basically tries to say is that while it's great to build a business based on doing something environmentally friendly, you really have to be profitable. You have to be able to run a good business. So if you're going to get into this, you should get into it because you think perhaps that the world needs to use fewer pesticides, and perhaps you need to be environmentally sensitive or sensitive to the health of people and pets and that kind of deal. But you need to make sure that you're getting into it to run a decent business too. Sometimes startups, which we don't typically work with, will kind of get into this in a purely idealistic sort of way and get let down when they kind of figure out it's not as easy as it looks. So make sure you're in this to run a good business as much as anything. So how are you going to be able to make more money and not have to do more work? Well, we know that through experience over the years that there's two ways to be profitable. You can be profitable through volume, and you can be profitable through margin. And most companies have to choose one or the other, and we'll talk about is it possible to have both methods of profitability. Profitability through volume is companies like TruGreen or the big lawn care services where they've got thousands or hundreds of thousands of customers, and they're not afraid to lowball the heck out of you. You know who I'm talking about, and you compete with them on a daily basis. They're profitable through volume, meaning that they do thousands and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of applications all the time, and they don't make a huge margin on it, but because there's so many of them, they're profitable. Profitability through margin is those real premium services. You know, just through the general rule of economics, if something costs more, you're going to sell less of it, no matter if it's apricots or lawn care, right? If something costs more, if you're going to offer something that costs more than what a competitor charges, you're going to sell less of it. But that's okay, because if you're making a significant margin, if there's if there's a big margin there, you're going to be profitable that way. So the question is it possible to have both? And in most cases, it's really not. Well, we always encourage BeeSafe applicators to bail out on the niche. Like I said, it's imperative that you offer both a traditional and an organic lawn care program. And the question is why? Well, I think you know I'm going to answer that question right now. While the niche is growing, while the organic lawn care niche is growing, it's not ready to support you yet. It's not ready to support a business that's going to vigorously grow and be able to support employees and marketing costs. It's just, you know, there are people making a go of it. I'm not, you know, I don't mean to discourage you, but I think if you want to build the type of business that I know you can build, you want to be able to be able to drive volume. So let me say also, while the niche is growing, it's not going to support you completely. There are other opportunities. For instance, the municipalities we talked about in Scarborough. A $90,000 account through one customer is pretty good. That's a good start in being able to support you. Private schools too. We've found that many private schools, especially sort of the elite type colleges and high schools, are really into organic lawn care. So if you are operating in a market where there are several campuses or private schools or colleges, they're going to be very receptive to what you have to say, and they're willing to pay a premium for the service you're going to offer. But that is not always going to be enough to pay the bills every day. So you need to drive volume. So what we say is you need to be able to offer a premium service and an alternative to that premium service also. You need to market to the masses, not just the niche. You need to be able to market to thousands and thousands of people and not just this hippie, right? Well, this hippie's probably doesn't even have a lawn anyways, but I think you get the point. You need to be able to offer your services to everybody. Again, you want to be a lawn care service that offers an organic program, not strictly an organic lawn care service. You have to offer both options. So let's look at some hypothetical numbers here. Let's say a customer refers their brother to you and they request an estimate. They don't even request an organic lawn care estimate. They request a lawn care estimate. You're able to give them a price for your standard program and your organic program. One is $69 per application. One is $82 per application. It's not a huge difference. It's not a big difference at all. And what we found, you guys, and this is through experience in the last 4 years as we've been kind of rolling along here, that when you do offer both programs to a potential customer, even though they didn't request the organic program, more times than not, they're going to choose that organic program. And it's really because it is a little bit more expensive, but it's not outlandish. You know, it's not what you might be used to seeing. It's not double the cost of a standard lawn care program. As long as you can guarantee the efficacy, which you'll be able to with the BeeSafe program, you're going to be able to charge a little bit more. So it makes a ton of sense to offer those options, whereas the customer is going to tend to buy the more expensive program because it's organic. And again, it's even if they didn't necessarily expect to be sold that. So do the math on a scenario where if you've got an existing customer base and you're able to do a price increase of 25% on half of your customers. Now, that's not going to happen overnight, but we've seen examples where some of our applicators with large chemical clients, a large chemical customer base, are able to increase or offer the organic program to their existing customers and do it with a price increase of about 25%. Okay? Think about that, because the price increase of 25%, we used to have a button that you could press at the end of the year, the price increase utility button. And when you could just raise prices across the board, it does a ton. It means a lot to your bottom line and your operating structure. You just can't do that every single year, though. So you need to constantly find ways to be able to charge your customers more. So if you're able to do that on a percent of your customer base, but the only expense that is going to go up as a result of that is the product cost. You're still going to do the same work on the same trucks. Same people are going to answer the telephone. Your rent isn't going to change. The lights, the utilities don't change. The only expense that increases is your product cost, and that's by only about 15 to 20%. It only costs a little bit more to do an organic lawn care program, but your margin is going to get much, much bigger because you're charging more. That's the key here, guys. That's the key. Always be able to offer both programs and try to build your business not only on volume, but on margin as well. So if you really want to consider taking this to the next level and becoming a BeeSafe applicator, let's talk about that for a few minutes. What do you get? As I said before, the BeeSafe Network is a group of sort of like-minded lawn and landscape professionals that operate with the BeeSafe brand in mind. So you get access to our products and our programs and products. You get a protected territory, marketing materials, branding. We'll build a website for you. You get training. So those are the things that you get. Let's talk about each one in a little bit more detail. We found with marketing materials that most companies have their marketing collateral pretty set. So we've got lots of templates that you can use if you want. We've got, brochures and estimate forms and all that kind of stuff. But most companies tend to take the branding and put it directly into their existing marketing. And you can see a couple of examples here. Mr. Green Thumb in Kentucky, Sponzilli in Jersey, Perfilon in New York and Pennsylvania. What we found is that our applicators like to use the branding in their own marketing as opposed to just taking our existing marketing materials. And the branding is important. We know that the homeowners, the consumer base nowadays, tend to trust a national brand because it feels a little more safe to them, especially when we're doing something that's a little bit groundbreaking. It feels safe to a consumer to trust a national brand. So that's why all of our applicators implement the logo and the branding into their own operations, however they want. You don't have to go crazy. You can do as much or as little as you'd like. And a lot of our applicators do things like truck wraps, billboards. We got an applicator in Delaware that bought a ton of billboards one year. On your postcards, your brochures, your marketing collateral, on your website, door hangers, flyers, trade shows, or right up on the hood of your truck here. The branding is important, and we encourage you to use it as much as you'd like. You get training. The Organic Lawn Care Institute is the training division of BeeSafe Lawns, and it started out as just a couple, getting together and helping our applicators learn how to use the products, learn how to use organics, learn how to operate under an organic program. It's grown, and it's now a licensed vocational school in the state of New Hampshire. So it's approved by the Department of Education, Division of Higher Education, and it's really good. You come to training. Our next training is in the first week of December, you guys. So if you're thinking about coming along, joining the network, it will be our last training of the year, and you might want to mark it down on your calendar. So training is a big part of joining the network. When you do join the network, you can come back to any training anytime, send employees, send office managers, new staff, and we have people return all the time. The products, the program. I didn't spend a ton of time on agronomics during this webinar because I could spend way too much time on products during this webinar. And what we'll typically do is schedule what we call a tech call with you to go into greater detail regarding the products themselves. I know we want to try to keep it to a minimum today, and I don't want to go off on a 30-minute tangent about how the products work and what they do. The point is here that we've got over 100 locations operating using the BeeSafe products and programs with great success. So it's a proven concept. It's not snake oil. We're working with the products, and people are doing very well with them. The way it works is we'll design a program specifically for you. We've got our own group of proprietary products that we do not sell to anybody other than members of the network. You can't buy our products at a John Deere Landscape, or you can't buy them from your distributor. You can't walk in and purchase it at Lesco, anything like that. We only sell our products to members of the network. And we take those products and we'll design a program specifically for you. As I said earlier, there's a big difference between grass growing in Massachusetts and grass growing in Orlando and everything in between. So we'll put something together specifically for you. What you need to know is that the program operates on 5 principles. It's not simply a product-based step program. Everything that we do kind of depends on what we did previously and what we're going to do next, and it operates on 5 principles. The introduction of soil biology is a priority. All of our products are liquid and contain active soil improving microorganisms, sort of like laboratory created compost teas. They're very important to amplify the existing and indigenous species of microorganisms in the soil, but also to add to them. The healthier the soil is, the more healthier the turf is. Use of biostimulants, things like kelp and humic acid. These things help prevent and reduce stress. When does turf not look good? When it begins to get stressed out. And when turf begins to get stressed out, so do your customers. So what we try to do is use these biostimulants, in the case of kelp, to apply and allow for added plant growth hormones. When turf begins to feel stress, it stops producing those plant growth hormones and it will go dormant. We try to keep pumping those plant growth hormones into the turf for as long as we can to prevent and reduce stress from heat, drought, foot traffic, compaction, those kind of things. The use of organic sources of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Yes, we know most states are now phosphorus-free, and so are most of our products. But if you're in a state that requires phosphorus, we can build that in as well. So organic sources of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Fertilizer is obviously very important. The proper application of fertilizer is what's going to make your grass green and grow. The use of organically acceptable control products. There are control products, meaning weed control, insect control, for any issue you may ever face. Maybe they're not certified organic, but they are organically acceptable control products that you will use to control, as I said, weeds and crabgrass and grubs and insects and anything that you need to address. We're able to help you with a control product. That wasn't always the case. There's lots of research and development in this field, and we're always on the search for these products all the time. Our products are our proprietary products are the fertilizers, the soil conditioners, the biostimulants. We distribute these organic pesticides for other companies, and we'll get them to you at the very best price we possibly can. Finally, information and education. That is a very important component of the BeeSafe program, not only with you as the business owner, but with your employees and your customers as well. So this year we're going to spend a lot of time. We're in 2015, we're going to put more emphasis on building the consumer brand than ever before. We've kind of crossed a bridge where we're able to get some traction with our consumer brand with the number of locations that we've been able to build. Our goal is to generate business for you. And through our mybeesafelawn.com program, and you can check out that website. That is our consumer-oriented lawn care website where we will attempt to develop leads and make sales for you. We're going to promote this brand pretty heavily in the coming months, and we've begun to do so already. So through position, promise, personality, story, associations, we're going to help build BeeSafe into that nationally known consumer brand through social media, search, organic search and SEO, paid search, remarketing, PR, list building, nurturing, etc. It's our goal to be able to build you get customers in your hands. We're putting quite an emphasis on that more than ever before. In the past, we've really worked hard with our applicators to help them build a good, solid marketing plan. We do a weekly conference call in the off season for about really 8 weeks or so. Really revolves around marketing, how we can help you implement great marketing strategies, but we also want to implement our own marketing strategies going to help you build your business too. So if you want to get involved with the BeeSafe network, how's it work? There's a couple packages you can do. The first package is the one where you kind of go all in. You protect the territory. We promise not to put any other BeeSafe applicators in a given area, up to 125,000 households. We support you in that territory, and the goal is for you to grow your business within that territory, your area. The cost for that is $14,900. If you're not ready for that, or we don't think you're ready for that, we tend not to put companies that may not have the resources to grow their business significantly in a protected territory. Even if you want to, we'll ask you to fill out an application, and we'll have our dealer advisory board take a look at it. And if you're not ready, or we don't think you're ready to make that jump, package number 2 is BeeSafe Lite. $4,900 gets you access to everything we just talked about, the proprietary products, the programs, the support, the branding, the marketing materials, and the training. And that comes in at $4,900. I know that Dick Conley, the Director of Dealer Development, as we approach the end of our year here, is trying to make it as easy as possible for those who want to join the network to be able to join the network. So you need to speak with him, especially if you want to talk about protecting a territory. He'll be the one to be able to kind of hammer out what that area is going to be. Up to 125,000 single-family dwelling units is typically the cutoff. That's not set in stone either. That's sort of a grade number. Some areas there are more, some areas there are less. But Dick's going to try to make it easy for you to get involved with the network. If you want to move on and join, take it to the next level, we'll get you some access to what we call our due diligence site. It is a resource site that is password protected. It's got all of our products, all of the pricing of the products, and tons of information on there for you to kind of peruse and develop any other further questions to see if it's something that you want to take to the next level. And if you do, we'll get you a proposal that will help you kind of determine exactly how the whole situation will go. But that is the next steps. And at the end of this webinar, what we'll do is we'll get you that administrative login capability to the due diligence site. We'll get an email with a username and password, and you can get in there and start looking around. And it's pretty important. It's got tons of good stuff. So here's our contact information. If you're interested in talking about products or talking about the science or anything having to do technical questions, you can give me a call at that number right there. Dick Conley will follow up with you. His number is also listed here. And as I said, our next training is coming up, or our last training of the year is coming up the first week of December. And so it's not something that you have a ton of time to work on. So if you'd like to get involved, please contact Dick right away. And we hope to see you at training. Thanks for spending some time with me today, guys. And hope to talk to you soon. Thanks.